Hello and welcome to this module where we are going to be discussing the Microsoft Project User Interface. This is a set of screens that give you access to the various options and features that are available in Microsoft Project. Depending on your version of Windows and how the MS Project was installed on your computer, you can start MS Project through the Start menu or by clicking on a shortcut on your desktop or on the taskbar. On my computer, I've got a shortcut on the taskbar which I'm going to click now. When you install your MS Project, you create user profiles. So because I'm working on my desktop, I simply left my profile as computer. So I click OK. The first screen that is presented to you is called the Start screen. The Start screen enables you to do three basic things. Firstly, you can open a project that you have been working on recently. So all the projects that you opened recently will be listed under the recent section here. So all you have to do is to click on the particular project that you'd like to reopen. Secondly, you can open other projects that you saved either on your hard drive or on an external disk or USB. Then thirdly, you can create a new project from scratch. There are two options of creating a new project. Either you can create a blank project by clicking on this icon for blank project. So this gives you a blank project that has no settings at all. In other words, you are going to define all the elements of your project from scratch. The second option is to open the project from a template. A template is a plan that was already created for you, which has got the basic structure of the type of project that you'd like to manage. For example, if you are doing a construction project, there are certain tasks that are common to all construction projects. Like, for example, brickwork, concrete work, electricals, preliminaries, roofing, plumbing, plastering, and painting. The list goes on. So the template for a construction project will have all these tasks already created for you, and all you have to do is to add the information that is specific or unique to the type of building or the type of house that you are constructing. At the moment, I do not have any templates because I'm working offline and I've not saved any templates on my local machine. So what we are going to do now is to open a blank project. Microsoft Project belongs to the Microsoft Office family of products. From 2007, Microsoft introduced the ribbon, which is a set of menus that are organized like pages on the top part of the screen. So each page is called a tab, T-A-B. So the tab that is on top is the active tab. So like in this case, the task tab is active. If I click on resource, then the resource tab becomes active. So we are currently having file, task, resource, report, project, view, and format tabs. Each tab is associated with a particular group of functions within Microsoft Project. So if you'd like to work with files, you go to the File tab. If you want to work with tasks, you go to the Task tab. For resources, you go to the Resource tab, and so forth. On each tab, you have what we call groups. So a group is a collection of commands that are related. When we are editing a document, we are used to functions such as copy, cut, and paste. So these functions or commands are put in the same group that we call clipboard on the task menu or on the task tab. So besides the clipboard group, we have got the font group, the schedule, tasks, insert, properties, and editing. So these are the groups on the task tab. So each group is having a collection of related commands. So we'll come back later to these tabs, but first of all, let us look at what we see on the top left corner of our screen, which we refer to as the quick access toolbar. So the quick access toolbar is where we add or remove the options that we frequently use. So all those favorite commands that you are using often, we put them in the quick access toolbar. At the moment, my toolbar has got the save command because I frequently want to save. You've got the undo as well as the redo command. So you can add as many commands or options on this quick access toolbar as long as it remains small enough to be relevant, because the moment you have 20 commands, it ceases to be a quick access toolbar. On each group, you will find a number of commands represented by a command button. For example, this button has got an image or a picture on it, as well as the label for that button. So the label gives you the name of the command or what you will get by simply clicking on the image. So these are two different parts that will give you two different results, especially when you've got this arrow, which we refer to as the filter arrow. So the filter arrow gives you more options that are associated with this command. We are on the view group, which allows us to switch between different views. If you click on this image, it takes you straight to the Gantt chart view. But if you click on the label, which has got the arrow, which is the filter arrow, it gives you a filter list, which is a list of additional views that you can choose from besides the Gantt chart view. If we take, for example, the copy command, by simply clicking on the image, we copy whatever is highlighted. But when you click on the arrow, it gives you a list of options that are available for the copy command. Next to the format tab, we have what is called the tell me box. So if there's a command that you're looking for, or you want help on a particular command or option, you simply type whatever you are looking for. So if I typed copy in the tell me box, it lists various options that are associated with the word copy. So whatever it is that you don't know where to find it, instead of clicking the tabs one by one looking for the command, simply type it in this tell me box. Another useful feature is what is referred to as screen tips. So a screen tip is basically some explanatory notes or descriptions of commands, one or more features of MS Project. If you do not know, for example, what a particular column is all about, you simply point at it and you get a screen tip that tells you that duration is the total span of working time for a task. If you are not sure of what a command will do when you click it, you simply point at it and you get a description of what that command does. So in other words, it helps you to see what the command will do before you actually click on it. Next, we are going to discuss views. A view is a way of looking at information, or a way in which Microsoft Project presents project data or project information to you. I already introduced you to the tab for view, and I also showed you the group for views on the left hand side here, where the Gantt chart view is the default view, or the view that automatically comes up when you open up your Microsoft project. But you're also able to change the default view, like I showed you earlier on, in the options. If you go to File and you go to Options, you are able to change what is the view that you will see immediately. Like you can see here that the default view under General is Gantt with Timeline. So you can actually switch and say you want to go straight to the calendar, or you want to go to a detailed Gantt chart, or you want to go to resources, etc. But the default that I have is a Gantt chart with a timeline. So these are options that you can actually change for yourself. So when you think of a view, consider a person trying to buy a house or an apartment. A person will say, I like the house because of the view from the sitting room or the view from the kitchen. It's because of what they are seeing from where they are standing. So when we talk of a view in Microsoft Project, we are saying how is the data presented to you in the main project window, which is this project window here. Each view projects project data in a different way. So you decide on the view to work with at that particular time. In other words, the view that is most relevant. At times, you are entering project information, and therefore you need the Gantt chart view. But at other times, you are probably adding resources, therefore you need a resource view. Other times, you are working with reports, so you need to have the reports on the main project window. So the view that is currently shown on the project window is what we call the active view. So that active view has got a label, which is the view label, which is on the left edge of the screen. The view label is always a reminder of the view that you are currently working on. From time to time, you'll be switching between the different views because each view has got its advantages depending on what you are currently working on at that time. Now let us look at the status bar, which is this small bar that you find at the bottom of the screen. So the status bar displays important information such as the mode for scheduling of new tasks. So tasks can either be manually scheduled or automatically scheduled. So on the status bar, you are able to see what is the current mode for scheduling any new tasks that you create. Also on the status bar, we have what are called view shortcuts. So these are shortcuts to the various views that you used recently. So as you can see, I've got the Gantt chart view, I've got task usage, I've got team planner, I've got resource sheet. So these are shortcuts that enable you to switch quickly between the different views that you have been using recently. We also have a zoom slider on the extreme right hand side that enables you to zoom in and out of the active view. So it has got a minus on the left hand side that makes your ruler smaller or your grid smaller, and a plus on the right hand side that expands the ruler or the grid, or you can simply drag the slider itself left or right depending on whether you want to zoom in and out of your current or your active view. We also have what are referred to as shortcut menus or context menus. So these are menus that you find when you right click on any item on Microsoft Project. So the shortcut menu is a common feature of all Windows based applications. So whenever you right click on something, you get a shortcut of the various actions that you can actually perform on that particular item. So wherever you are able to right click so that you can see the actions that you can actually perform at that particular place where you are, or on the particular object or text that is highlighted at the time. In the next few moments, I'm going to quickly go through the ribbon and give you a one-line description of what each tab is all about. The File tab takes you to the Backstage, which is used for file management as well as setting up various options for Microsoft Project. Then we've got the Task tab that includes commands for adding, for formatting, as well as organizing various tasks that we create, especially in this Gantt chart view. Then we go to the Resource tab that we can use for adding resources to a plan, as well as assigning resources to various tasks, and also managing the workload for each resource. On the Report tab, we've got commands that we can use to view reports as well as compare two or more project plans. The Project tab contains commands that usually apply to the entire project plan, such as the command that we use for setting the plan's working time. Then we have the View tab that we use to control what we see in the project window. We discussed about views earlier on and indicated that the active view is shown by this view label. Like in this case, the active view is the Gantt chart view. So we use the View tab to access all the various views that are available, and also remember that we have a shortcut to the views on the extreme left hand side that is available on most of the tabs. So you can click on the filter arrow in order to get the list that gives you all the various views. Then we come to the Format tab, which controls various tools for formatting different aspects of MS Project. So depending on which menu or which tab you're working on, the Format tab gives you a different set of commands. And the current view that you're working in, or the current context you're working in, is indicated just above the label Format. So like in this case, it shows this is the Gantt chart tools. So if we change, for example, and we go to a different view, let's say we go to the calendar, it now shows the calendar tools. So you now have tools for formatting a calendar. So whenever you change the view, the tools also change on the format, because you need different tools for formatting the different views. Remember, as I said earlier on, that to collapse the ribbon, you can double click on any tab label. Like in this case, we are on the view tab, so we click on the label view, double click on it, and it collapses the ribbon. You can also double click on it to reopen the ribbon. Just a quick recap of what the views are all about. At the moment, we are on the Gantt chart view. So it means that wherever I go, whether it's on the tasks or resources, or I go to the reports, to the project, the view does not change. In other words, the view dictates what is being displayed in the main project window. So to change what you see in this project window, it's not by switching the various tabs, but it is by going to the view tab, or you can go straight to this shortcut button and then you click on the filter arrow so that you see the list of all the views that are available. So if I change, for example, to the calendar view and I say apply, now I'm in the calendar view. So I can work on tasks in the calendar view, or I can work on resources still within the calendar view. I can look at reports in the same view, look at project options within the same view. So these tabs here do not change what appears in the project window, but it can only be changed by changing the view itself. So if we switch back to the Gantt chart view, then we change the way in which the information is presented in the project window. Let me now take you to the backstage by clicking on the File tab. So the backstage allows you to customize your project as well as to share the project with other people that you collaborate with. Also on the backstage, you've got the various commands for managing files, like creating new files, saving files, opening files, as well as closing files. You also have the options for printing your plan as well as exporting it to other formats such as PDF. It is also in the backstage that we set the general options for our MS project. In other words, we define the environment in which we are going to operate. What are the default settings for your particular installation of MS project on your machine? So I'm going to quickly run through the various pages on this backstage. So first, the info page. It gives you access to the organizer, which is a feature that is used to share customized elements like views between various project plans. It also displays information about the active plan, like for example the start date, the finish date, schedule from current date, etc. Next, we have got the new page that displays options for creating a new plan either from scratch or using a template. Then next we have got the standard file management tools that you see in most Windows-based programs. That is open, save, save as well as close. So these are standard file management commands. You also have the print page that provides you a print preview. In other words, it shows you what the project is going to look like. At the moment, it's saying there is no data for you to print. So if I were to go back and simply type in a single task. So I just put in the name of a task and then I go to print. So because now there's something on my project, it now shows me a print preview. In other words, what I would get if I decided to print this project at this time. So this print page also enables you to set up your printer as well as define other options like what type of paper you want to use to print, the paper size, the orientation, whether it's going to print in landscape or in portrait. Then we've got the share page. That is the options for Microsoft SharePoint synchronization, as well as attaching a project plan to an email message. SharePoint is Microsoft's online sharing and collaboration platform. So you need to subscribe to Microsoft SharePoint as an organization so that you can get your space there where you can share whether there are applications, documents, and anything that you need to collaborate as an organization. The export page includes options for exporting the project plan either in PDF or in XML paper specification format, which is also referred to as XPS format. And there are also other options for exporting content. So in other words, you can export your project plan in quite a number of different ways. So later on, once we have got information on our project plan, we shall be returning here to export. Then we have the account page, which displays connected services and information about MS project, such as the version information. Like in this case, it's showing that I'm using Microsoft Project Professional 2016. So if you have subscribed to Microsoft and you have got an online account, your information will be displayed on this page. So in other words, you would have to sign in here. And once you are signed in, your user information always appears on the top right hand corner of the project window. Then finally, we have the options page. So this is the page that we use to adjust a wide range of default settings and how MS Project behaves. For example, when we open MS Project, do we want to see the start screen or do we want to go straight to a project page? So on the general tab, you can see that at the bottom there is an option that says show the start screen when this application starts. So if I were to remove this tick, it means when I start MS Project, it will go straight to the project screen and not go to the backstage that I'm currently explaining. You also have options to set the behavior of your screen tips. Remember, we described screen tips, which is the information that you get when you simply point at a command or a feature. So you can actually define how you want the screen tip to appear, whether you want it at all or whether you want it to show the feature descriptions or you do not want it to show the description of the features. You can also set what is the default view. In our case, the default view is the Gantt chart view, meaning that whenever you create a project, it is going to appear in the Gantt chart view. So you can change the default view by simply selecting the new one that you want. Then also you can change the date format. In other words, the way in which you'd like dates to be displayed on your project plan. So the format depends on how you want to be printing the project plan mostly. If you are going to be having a big sheet of paper that can accommodate a long date, then it's possible for you to put a long date like this one, Wednesday 29 January 2009, including the time 12:33 p.m. But if you are going to have a short column for the date, then just 28 January might suffice. So there are quite a lot of different options which you need to go through and see how they can change or affect the way your MS project behaves or the way that data is displayed on your project sheet. So what we are going to be doing in the next module is to now create a new project. So we are now going to start setting up a new project, and we are going to be working on a construction project. We are going to be building a simple home, a simple house, because everybody is familiar with a home because we all stay in a house. So it will be very easy for you to relate to that type of project. So I'll see you in the next video.